Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome to our presentation of research we've recently conducted. The title of today's presentation is The Value of High Quality Service and Care in the Higher Education Classroom. My name is Dr. Dario Vasquez, and it is my pleasure to present to you today with my colleague and friend, Bill Davis. To present our share in research, and share our research in Oxford University PLC today. Now, I would like to introduce my friend and colleague, Bill Davis, but before I do that, I thought that I would provide some information on how Bill and I came together last year to work on the research project to make this presentation. In last year's PLC, I saw many presentations. I also attended a couple that Bill completed with Dr. Jackie Kager on student retention and time management. I found both highly effective and insightful and impressive. So at that time, I happened to be working on a research on customer service, and I took the initiative to reach out to Bill and ask him if he would like to present with me, to work in collaboration with me, and he did. So we talked, and our conversations became more frequent. Today, as a result of academic collaboration and technology, we are able to present our collective work to you. So now I'm going to introduce Bill Davis. Bill Davis is an instructor in the Forbes School of Business at Oxford University and serves as a faculty senator. He has held numerous positions that include lead faculty, instructional specialist, and manager of instructional specialist for the Forbes School of Business. Bill holds a master's degree in organizational leadership from St. Andrews University, a bachelor's of arts in business administration from St. Louis University, and a certified manager certification from the Institute of Certified Professional Managers. Bill is a former executive. He is a academic who successfully transitioned his more than 3 decades of experience working in the beverage industry, specifically in the Pepsi company system, into higher education. He has extensive experience in all aspects of business as a consultant, sales, marketing, strategic planning, human resources, and organizational change. Bill is an elected member of the Faculty Senate and has authored or co-authored several articles in the Oxford Forward Thinking Institute Certified Professional. Bill most recently received an Excellence in Service Award from the Forbes School of Business and the President's Award from Oxford University. Now I would like to turn this over to Bill.
Thank you, Dario. Now it's my distinct pleasure to introduce you all to my colleague and good friend, Dr. Dario Vasquez. Dr. Dario Vasquez is an associate faculty in the Forbes School of Business at Oxford University, who teaches business courses, and he focuses on restaurant, resort, and event meeting and conference management. You know, Dario also has authored and presented peer-reviewed articles at national and international conferences, and his international experiences include presenting in Argentina, the Bahamas, Brazil, Canada, the Dominican Republic, in France, Italy, Mexico, Portugal, Spain, and Uruguay. Prior to entering the academic field, Dr. Vasquez spent over 17 years in the hospitality industry, including the hotel, cruise, and restaurant sector. And as a manager, he trained employees in areas like customer service, customer retention, safety at the workplace, effective leadership, employee relations, management, and retention, and the importance of embracing diversity in today's global environment. Dario has reviewed articles for the Academy of Management, and currently he is the journal manager and reviewer for the International Journal of Management, Economics, and Social Sciences. He is a business and customer service consultant, and he is also the author of a book, Managing Customer Service, A Practical Guide to Thrive. So, we all have a passion for teaching and the very best classroom experiences and furthering student success. So, let's begin. What we're going to cover today, I just wanted to touch base on the agenda. We've already, welcomed you to our presentation. Thank you, Dario, for doing that. And basically, we've given you our introductions. We felt that was important to give you a little bit of our background. We're going to cover our abstract, what we have submitted to the TLC, to get this presentation space to present to all of you. Talk about some learning objectives, the track alignment, our research, the purpose, etc. And with that said, now I'd like to turn it over to my colleague and good friend, Dr. Dario Vasquez, to tell you about the purpose of this study and some of those things that I just mentioned. Dario?
Thank you, Bill. Well, let's continue by analyzing the purpose of this study. The purpose of this study was to analyze current literature and combine it with empirical data to present the methods of teaching quality customer service and care excellence in the higher education sector. As you know, teaching is sharing knowledge with others, and a professor should do so with passion and enthusiasm. The research findings revealed that the professor's delivery contributes significantly toward achieving customer satisfaction through flexibility and by working together with students. And one needs to show passion for what he or she does to make recipients feel comfortable and satisfied at all times. So the one important aspect to remember is that learners spouse the behaviors of their education providers, professors, and can transfer or communicate those behaviors to other people and organizations. To achieve high-level customer service and satisfaction, the service provider, educated, needs to use effective time management. And it is important because today's students want quick service, flexibility, and timely feedback from facilitators. We live in a social media environment, technological environment that most students do not want to wait for too long to receive any feedback from the facilitators. So we felt that it was important to share with you while we focus on this on our study. Here are some information that on our abstract and who is going to benefit from. Obviously, this was designed for professors, for educated, and now I'm going to be talking briefly about our objectives, which is basically participants will learn to recognize the value and importance of quality, innovation, and caring, and how customer service and care play an important role in education. Review and identify important trends and research, specifically how high-quality customer service and care are applied in higher education. Identify, examine, and apply 5 principles for achieving high-quality customer service. So, and when we are teaching online, The faculty can improve, faculty members, we can improve our presence in delivering and teaching by considering and applying those principles that we're going to provide to further student success. This will be an informative, insightful presentation, and we'll be looking at the leadership review and share some of the findings with you to show passion and to show that what the research tells us. So now I would like to turn this over to Bill to introduce our study. Bill?
Yeah, thank you, Dario, and thank you for that insightful look into our objectives and our learning outcomes we desire to achieve. You know, quality customer service in the education sector is more essential today than ever before. In education, the professor or facilitator, it's important to remember, is the primary deliverer of quality service. As a result of rapid advancements in technology, teaching in the 21st century does require a prompt response along with personalized attention to the learners. The higher education sector is growing at a fast pace. Service providers can benefit from it in a magnificent way, and that's from a study by Siobhan and some other scholars here that we took in 2014. We found some research on that, some literature on that. Online students look for the same type of attention and caring as they do in a traditional brick-and-mortar setting. Even though not all learners will look at your personalized feedback, providing examples is an effective way, and it's a way to satisfy some of them. Every service provider needs to work with them. Why? Because they're also customers, and exceeding the learner's expectations leads to positive experiences and customer loyalty. And we all know, you know, and I know in my background in sales and marketing that word of mouth does travel, and if people have a good experience, you know, they tend to tell more people, and it's the same thing with students. So providing excellent customer service in the higher education sector entails full commitment from the professor. Now, I would like to turn it over to my colleague and friend, Dario Vasquez.
Thank you, Bill. Well, what does the leadership tell us? So I would like to speak to three key areas: studies on customer service, training for educators, and classroom delivery. Many studies have been conducted on customer service, and researchers have focused on different areas. But research on customer service in the higher education sector does not seem to be getting as much attention as it should. And there have been many studies conducted like that in Hague in 2013. And what those researchers and those studies tell us is that we as educators, we should receive adequate training on customer service to deliver better education. So the two main types of strategies for achieving impeccable service in the education sector are quality and attention to detail. So when we are talking about quality, we are talking about delivering basically what we prepare in advance. And when we are talking about attention to detail, could be as simple as checking any simple link or embedded material that we might want to incorporate to enhance the learning experience. That's what we are talking about, paying attention to detail. Or a simple request from a student, from an email. That's what we are talking about. Because delivering quality and care service to the student population, what it does is actually it distinguishes an organizational institution from others. And as Campbell and Sarah Khan tell us, we need to distinguish because there is a lot of competition today, and that's why the quality service in the higher education sector should be giving way more attention today than ever before. So now, next, I would like to speak to organizations that are embracing service quality. There have been there was a study conducted 2014, a researcher conducted a study when he stated that outstanding customer service is not challenging to achieve if one employs a caring strategy, embraces culture. So, educational institution embracing quality service is likely to attract oriented learners and retain them through the end, graduation day. And that's exactly what we all want. We want to work with students from the beginning, through the middle, and through the end until they graduate, that they can go over there and become productive members of society and then follow our examples and eventually even recommend some of their friends to join us again based on the service they received from us as professors. There was a study conducted out of New Zealand, between New Zealand and London, primarily with students in the area from India. And Johnny, Shani, and Zina found that the perception of student quality in India is that mutual understanding between the professor and the student is one of the significant elements in delivering excellent education. This is important. The collaboration, the relationship that the professor and the learner develop, it is significant in delivering great education. So, another study of 2016 by Habit and Allow showed that the reason that quality service in higher education is achieved when management, librarians, professors, and support personnel work together to create a different learning environment. So we are all together working as a team to develop new future leaders and managers in the workplace. So it is very, very important for us to work together to achieve that goal. Now I would like to turn it over to my colleague and friend, Bill Davis. Bill?
Dario, thank you very much. And again, thank you for making all those great connections to service and care, and the role we play as educators. I think it's very, very enlightening to me, and being a member of this research team was very eye-opening. So thank you very much. Dr. Dario Vasquez has written books and also several articles on this subject. And I'm going to quote him here a second. He said that students are not just students, they are customers who have service expectations, from one of his research papers. Providing the best service to learners signifies commitment and dedication to excellence from the university that they represent and from the professor. And that's from a study that he has cited from Hearst and some other scholars here in 2014. Some additional points. Xiao Cheng in 2013 proposed that to provide excellent customer service in the higher education sector, educational institutions need to start treating learners as valuable customers. Dario Vasquez concurred with the researchers, and he mentioned that students are not just students again; they're customers who have service expectations. So, when I see that, I relate that to nobody buys an average experience. If I look at my sales and marketing days, and I think about some of the businesses I've consulted in the restaurant sector, for example. And, when customers go to a restaurant, folks don't say, well, my meal can be cold, and it's okay if it's late, and it's okay if you're not around to fill my beverage, etc. No one wants an average experience. They want excellence. So what Dario is confirming in his research papers from 2015 is that, again, students are also customers, and that they're not just students. They're customers who have service expectations. Some students procrastinate, but every service provider needs to work with them because they are in fact, customers. Xiao Chang pointed out that quality service demands accurate attention as it involves continuous evaluations by customers. That experience they're having in the classroom is always, could be a little slightly different than in various classes because of delivery, but they are gauging that and forming impressions of the service and the teaching that they get. Because service is intangible, each education supplier needs to show special value and consistency to learners, and that's from a study by Ibrahim Wang and Hassan in 2013. Describing students as customers sets a precedent of expectancy and personalized feedback. It leads to the application of best service quality, and that is from Hearst in 2013. Providing the best service to learners signifies commitment and dedication to excellence from the university and the professor. And again, in an educational setting, quality service is the process of keeping consistency and growing innovation, finding new and better ways to reach the students so that we can create some momentum. We go to the next slide here. The literature also says that a report on the research findings, the research revealed that the professor's delivery, again, this is what we found, the professor's delivery contributes significantly toward achieving customer satisfaction through flexibility and by working together with learners. One needs to show passion for what he or she does to make recipients feel comfortable and satisfied at all times. As an educator and practitioner in the online classroom, one of the things that I learned is through Quality Matters was, courses there's design and delivery, and the delivery is what we do, and so much of this relates to that delivery component that Dario was talking about. Learners do espouse the behaviors of their education providers and can transfer or communicate those behaviors to other people and other organizations. And again, to achieve that high learner customer satisfaction, the service provider, the educator, needs to use effective time management. Current learners want quick service, flexibility, and timely feedback from their educators. So back to Dario, and Dario now will speak about passion, enthusiasm, and how important that is. Dario, you can take it away.
Thank you, Bill, and thank you for all that incredible contribution and those personal expertise from you. Yes, that's correct. And when we talk about customer service and linking customer service with education, we are talking about passion. And yes, we are all passionate, and we need to show passion for what we do, because it is when you show passion and enthusiasm for what you do, it brings a sense of connectedness between you and students. So whether you teach on a traditional brick and mortar or in an online environment, please remember to keep a sincere smile, because on-ground teaching requires a positive eye contact and posture, because you cannot see yourself unless you are in the mirror. But because you are when you are in an online environment, it is important to know that people are watching you, not only everything you do, but the approach you take to do that. And in an online environment, you should never assume you are just behind a computer screen and should not show passion. Because learners, what they do, they read your words, tone of voice, and judge you. So an example of that would be that educators should provide examples with their feedbacks, because when they do that, students get that additional help to improve when there might be needs for more clarification. And as pointed out by Anderson and Tier and Chant in 2012, this is important. This is important to show that kind of passion you are working with. It could be as simple as replying to an email. Take an extra minute and show that passion if you are online versus on ground. And of course, if you are on ground, Even if you're about to leave your classroom and you might get the student asking that particular question, because we all know we were all curious before, wanted to learn that additional strategy from our professors. Just take your time, show the passion, because what happens is students are as busy as professors, and the majority of the time they really value when one takes the time and to show passion and eagerness to serve. So this is important. We might ask one simple question like, can one motivate others? The answer will be no, but what we can do is to provide that reason, or provide reasons to learners, to students, that they can motivate themselves. All it takes is one line, one simple word for a professor to show that passion and enthusiasm to the students. So, physicist Albert Einstein said, quote, "It is the supreme core of the teacher to awaken joy in creative impression and knowledge." So that's why it is really important to share one's knowledge with others, and that's why professors should do so with passion and enthusiasm. Because what happens is students, they do espouse the behaviors of education providers, and they will communicate with other potential students, and what it is, we just want to make sure the students live with a great education, but also a sense of kind of customer satisfaction. That's what we want. That's what we want to instill in students, that even when they go over there at the workplace, they will bring that back, and they will be providing that to their own customers. And this just helps all of us when we do so. So when you show passion for what you do, you inspire learners and transform their lives. This is important. Now, back to Bill with a few points on the importance of embracing your organization's core values. Bill?
Dario, thank you very much. You know, one of the things that I'd like to just comment on are 3 core values I learned back in 2006 from our CEO and founder, Andrew Clark. And that goes back to the Iowa campus. I remember talking to him, and the advice that he had given me was to remember these 3 things, you know, quality, innovation, and caring. Quality in all we do, the classroom, and create the very best classroom experience, and caring. And that when we care for students, you know, that all trickles down. They feel that, and it just makes, when we care for each other, colleagues and students, it just makes for a much, much better experience and culture, and it trickles on down to our students, and our students see that, and that's basically what the research is telling us. The research, you know, here's some things. Be on time, promising less and delivering more. You know, today's customers, again, want fast service, and they want it done the right way. You know, have you ever sent an email or placed a phone call and waited for someone who took an unreasonable amount of time to reply? How did you feel as a customer? How did you feel as a student if you had a professor that wasn't getting back to you? You know, answering these 2 questions would put you in a customer's shoes, in this case, a student's shoes. It would also let you know the importance about being on time, especially when teaching online. Why? Because the student may have a question, something simple as where to post my discussion, or I'm confused about this, or could you take out a previous discussion I posted in the wrong box, and it bothers me. I have some anxiety on that. Can you get that out of there for me, please? That kind of thing. You know, it helps us assist them, and it helps us answer questions, and especially if they have an assignment and they're new to writing. So all that plays into that dynamic. The student who is familiar with the system may also have a paramount question and cannot be taken for granted or forgotten. One should remember that students are not just students. Connect them to customers. Again, customer care, customer service. That's what the research is telling us, and that to give them prompt responses. And again, that also is validated and comes from Dr. Dario Vasquez in some of the research studies that he did in 2015. You know, the education business is a fascinating one because it's preparing individuals for unlimited possibilities once the students leave our classroom, or perhaps they're already in an environment and they're going to advance. Education providers prepare learners for delivering initial promises and setting examples. If a professor states timely feedback when posting announcements, the professor could be held as an academic hero. You know, students do reflect that and appreciate that, show their appreciation to us and of course surveys. You know, we see many comments. Some learners are eager to know how they did on their projects and term papers, so feedback helps them grow. Learners feel happy when they know that the results are going to come to them on time, especially when they're excited and anxious to see how they did, you know. And also many times, you know, to get that particular grade so they can go to their employers, you know, with an unofficial transcript to say, hey, here's how well I did in my course, and I'm going to be submitting you this later and getting my reimbursement, et cetera. All very positive. And, you know, and that's all validated in a study by Met and other researchers in 2014. It is imperative to be on time because your customers depend on you so they can be efficient in delivering their goods and services. So promising less and delivering more can lead to customer satisfaction and customer acquisition, in this case, student satisfaction, student retention, and new students. It can increase growth. The better we are in terms of quality, the better that things work out for all. Because you're being watched not only by your learners, they observe you and your behaviors, and also by employers. For example, you know, my courses are looked at by faculty support and development associates to make sure I'm hitting requirements, as well as my faculty colleagues and my particular program chair that will go in my courses and do an IQR. So you know, we're constantly looking at check and balances to ensure quality. Now, one of the things that I would be remiss if I didn't talk about, again, is those core values, quality, innovation, and caring. Well, Dr. Patnaud, when he was our president, the past few years, did a lot of great things for this university. And one of the things that just really caught my eye was with the video that he had put in the classes every time I started a new class. It was embedded in there, and he talks about core values. And he talked about not only quality, innovation, and caring that I learned early on and pretty much focused on and built my career on. He talked also about effectiveness, integrity, and again, innovation and caring, and then also furthering student success. So, you know, those are just good reminders to help us succeed with our delivery in the online classroom. Helps us succeed with our students. It helps us succeed providing good customer service and care. Some people become effective because they assimilate good business practices from their mentors, managers, and professors. I know from the mentors I've had here at Ashford University, I have assimilated those practices and teachings and learnings that I've learned from all of them. Therefore, everyone's in a position of authority and needs to model the way by creating and presenting excellence. How do you define excellence? Well, the definition that I know that I've embraced is doing the right things the right way in alignment to the university's core values and our mission. So when we concentrate on quality service, it's as vital. It's as vital as increasing institutional likability and the overall image of the university. Dario, thank you for that insight because that came out of some of your research. We do represent the university and we represent our colleges. So as far as I'm concerned, that's what it's all about, is putting our best foot forward and providing excellence. One never should give up on delivering excellence or timely service to learners, especially after a promise is made. When a service provider makes a promise, he or she should honor that promise. You know, again, if the service provider does not keep the promise, his or her trust gets lost. We might lose some credibility. And sometimes we may lose a customer, in this case, student. And, you know, good news travels fast, bad news travels faster. So I think these are just good top-of-mind fundamentals to keep in our mind. And, you know, it is competitive out there. Technology and globalization have transformed the way pedagogy is delivered today. Learners have many institutional options to choose from. Learners stay with universities that make timely delivery a part of the quality education and overall educational experience. Now, back to Dario to speak about the importance of understanding students and patients and their needs. Dario, take it away.
Thank you, Bill, and thank you for that great insight. Yes, that's correct. Showing passion, that's a wonderful thing. Now, let's talk about these patients and anticipating needs. So basically, showing patience will be just, let's say, you have already conducted probably a discussion board or any presentation in the classroom, and sometimes you might see some students that they will grasp things right away, but you will notice other students that might take days to do that. So, and what it is when one exercises patience in a learning environment, so basically he or she can encourage more interaction and productivity among participants. And why is that? Because some students sometimes they will ask questions just basically to see if the professor will have the time or the patience, or will just repeat or provide like a negative kind of feedback. And so sometimes the students, they test us as much as we provide some tests to them, some exams. And they will ask questions just to find out how you react. How is your tone of voice? How is if it is in a face-to-face, your facial expression? If it is in an online environment, are you feeling kind of bothered? So students will do that just to test your level of patience. So it is important to be patient, and remember one thing: we are the experts. We know, let's say, like an APA format, but we might get a simple question like, do we put a period after parentheses or something like that? And sometimes students will ask a question like that to test us, and sometimes they will ask because they really need to know how to do so. So exhibiting patience is a very important thing. Another thing is anticipating needs. Anticipating needs can be summarized in kind of preparing in advance before the class begins, because as simple as having all the materials in order, making sure everything is working. Any project, if you are working on a project that you are creating your own, or you are working in collaboration with other colleagues, just anticipate those potential questions and needs that will arise, because when we are talking about customer service, we are talking about satisfying students, and we do not want to be like procrastinating kind of between, because we do not anticipate those needs. So it is really, really important that we do that. Now, after we anticipate needs, then we need to go into adaptive leadership. Leadership, as we know, is a big topic, but today we are going to concentrate on adaptive leadership, because what that means is basically adapting the teaching style for each occasion, and recognizing that every customer, in this case every student, requires a personalized direction, and because serving learners today is different than it was 2 or 3 decades ago. In the past, most interaction was in the classroom. Now it is online, and it is important to have a leadership style that will fit that learning style of that learner. So when we talk about leadership, leadership is not only reserved for top management or a CEO of an organization. we as professors, we are all leaders, and it is important for us to be adaptive. When we adapt our styles to accommodate our customers, in this case our students, what we do is we are basically preparing them for the classroom and beyond. So this is really, really important. There was a study conducted here back in 2007 with Randall and Carly that stated that adaptive leadership is grounded on principles and a person's ability to engage, perform with everyone on board. So, as educators, what we want to do is to get 100% customer satisfaction in terms of developing 100% of our students. Not only praising a student who is doing well, but then ignoring the student that is not doing so well, because if we do that, we are missing that adaptive kind of leadership style. So what we want to do is to adapt to get participants to accomplish stated goals. In this case, stated goals will be to graduate, to pass the class, and to continue on their educational journey. So it is important. It is an important process because we need to realize as leaders that a leader cannot accomplish all goals alone. And again, a study conducted by London in 2014 support that. There are many leadership styles, but researchers have not yet caught one universally. So just get your own style, be yourself, but be adaptive to lead all learners to the right on the right path. So now I'm going to go back to Bill, who is going to talk about bringing hospitality to the classroom. In other words, the real-world application. Bill?
Dario, thank you very much. And again, great insights. I like that, what you talked about, the students kind of doing a trial balloon and sometimes testing us with a question to see how much we care and how accommodating we are. And again, that's something that they're building their trust, and they want to know we care and that we're moving along with them, too, to help them get to the best outcome, as you stated. So what I'm going to talk about right here is bringing hospitality to the online learning environment. And the thing I like about this that the research showed, and through Dario's research and his background, that what does that mean in the online classroom, the learning environment? It means share your expertise and your real-world experience as a professor. A combination of theory and practice leads to achieving excellent customer service. Now, as you look at the slide here, that's me in the 2015 Forbes Mentor Week. That was a wonderful experience, and I had given an 18-minute talk on a theme that I have followed in my PepsiCo career, plan your work your plan. And what I did with that is just simply broke it down, how I used to approach project management on different projects at Pepsi or here at Ashford. And basically a simple model that, acronym and model that I followed was, 3 Ps, 2 Cs, and a D. The 3 Ps representing purpose, participants, and plan. And then, next 2 Cs were controls. What did you have controls in place? How are you going to communicate? And at the very end, you're going to debrief and figure out what worked, what didn't, what should we do next, and so forth. But it was a great, whether that was short or long, it was a great model that, that I kind of took and simplified and taught to my teams so that we get to good outcomes and deliver results. So, I like doing that. I share that video in my class. That's a way of showing my hospitality. And the one thing that we encourage is share your expertise. There's a lot of things that you've done in the real world that you can break down, put it into some context, and show how it relates to theory, and then you can bridge that gap of understanding between theory and practice and help students see more, increase their depth and their breadth. So, again, hospitality is the art of being hospitable. Welcoming it is the process of providing the utmost customer service to consumers. So bring hospitality to the learning environment because it's a way of treating students like VIPs in a hospitality establishment. It's an educate As an education provider, one is likely to interact with learners from all over the world. In the hospitality industry, as well as the tourism sector, is big. And this comes from some research by Zatsiva and some other scholars that you'll see in our reference page. And so, again, I just want to show you some other examples other than mine. Bringing hospitality, this gentleman's name is Stephen Schum. Steve is a lifelong friend that I grew up with my entire career. He's a CEO for the Hill Group, a large construction company in Chicago. He's CFO. And at the time, I'm still teaching the Management 330 course, and there's a whole week devoted to the 4 steps of control. So I thought it would be good to ask Steve to record a message like we're doing here and talk about how the 4 steps of control are applied in the organization from a systems thinking approach, and how they have different controls in place and how those 4 steps of control work. It was very successful, and Steve did a fantastic job. And also, too, Dr. Karen Ivey, in our courses, we have a week devoted to one of the forums to students' careers, what they expect, what some of their needs are, their planning. Dr. Karen Ivey, my friend and colleague, did a fantastic job at Forbes Mentor Week, and I keep this video around, and I make sure I embed it, and I put it in my class, and here's an example for you. Again, to the research that Dario and I had completed. Again, this falls all under the line of providing hospitality. So at this point, I am going to turn it over. We're about done. Thank you for listening so far. I'm going to turn it over to Dario to wrap it up. Dario, it's all yours.
Thank you, Bill. I will talk briefly about limitations to the study and future research and recommendations and some conclusions. But the most important thing I would like to leave all of you will be with 5 principles to remember. But this study, some of the limitations of this study, one of them was like the time to gather data through, we only gather data through leadership review rather than through personal interviews or focus groups. And another limitation was the time. Bill and I, we were working this project for nearly a year, and it was the time basically, and that type of commitment. Those were part of our limitations in the study. But for future research and recommendations, we'll recommend that study to be conducting customer service from an educational perspective. Because customer service is intangible and challenging to measure, the research should be of qualitative form, because in that case what the research can do is to elicit lived experiences from participants, and so to conduct an empirical research study to determine more conclusions and findings into what quality customer service in the higher education system can mean. But here are the 5 principles we want you to remember. Passion, yes, show passion for what you do. Anticipate needs. Just think about when you are about to travel. You are going to travel. You need to buy a ticket. You need to fly. You need to get a hotel and so forth. Anticipate those needs for your students. Adaptive leadership and empathy. Show passion and empathy to the students. Bring that hospitality to the learning environment. Excellence in all we do. Yes, we should be the best we can do, because what we do will build trust. Under promise and over deliver, and never over promise and under deliver, because when we do that, when we over promise under deliver, we do not satisfy customers 100%, in that case students. But those are the 5 principles that we want to leave you with to work on. And Bill and I, we are already talking about probably working together next year on another project, and we look forward to working with you, and it has been a pleasure presenting here today at the TLC at Oxford University, and with my colleague Bill Davis. This has been an amazing presentation. Bill, Bill, do you have
thank you very much. And, you know, if you have any questions or comments for us, you know, feel free to email us at these addresses below. Thank you for listening. You know, we've given you a lot of information here, and hopefully there's some good chunks and pieces you can take out of this. You know, studies show that, you know, you may only retain 10, 15% of this, but you have the PowerPoint, you have the audio. If some of this interested you, you've got our references. That is it. Thank you, and thank you for all you do, and thank you for attending and listening in Ashford's Teaching and Learning Conference. Take care.
Thank you, Bill, and thank you, everyone.